Down with me, you down with me, down with me. I got a crowd wrapping round the whole town for me. They mama proud, got 1,000 in the balcony. Nah, I don't hear no clown talking foul on me.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of What Are Odds podcast. It's your host JMX and my co-host Ryan. We gonna get into some of the more recent news that happened in the NFL and some recent stuff that happened in the NBA as well. But before we get into it, Ryan, man, how you doing?
Man, I'm chilling, can't complain. My Lakers got a dub yesterday. My Steelers about to get Cooper Kupp, so I'm living. How about yourself?
All right, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, we gonna get into all that. Shout out to your Lakers. I guess they got the dub. I don't know about the Cooper Cup stuff, but yeah. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So first things first. Was it today? I can't remember, man. I've been so busy. DHop got traded. That was today, right? Yeah. So breaking news this morning. I think it happened at like early. I can't remember how early it was, but I know it was really early. Um, the Chiefs and the Titans came in agreement on a trade to get DeAndre Hopkins. The Chiefs sent a fifth rounder that can turn into a fourth rounder. I think if they said if Kansas City makes the playoffs or something, I can't remember if it's make
Yeah,
the Super Bowl.
there's also something about if he plays 60% of the team's snaps
Yeah,
and the Chiefs make the Super Bowl.
yeah, I think it was the Super Bowl, and if he plays 60% of their snaps, then he can go to a fourth rounder. The Titans said they would pay about half of Hopkins' salary, so the Chiefs, I think, are only paying him 3 million or something like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, my initial reaction to the trade, I wasn't too excited about it because I'm a Bronco fan and we got to deal with DeAndre Hopkins in the division, even though I'm not really too worried about it because we all know what Pat Surtain is. The monster is his himself, but I'm really interested to see what DeAndre Hopkins still kind of has left in the tank. I still think he's a really good wide receiver. Just in Tennessee, I feel like last year he didn't really have a bad year by any means necessary. Just this year, I think he was hurt coming into the season. And I mean, they got Will Levis at quarterback. Like this year, he only has 15 catches, a buck 73, and a touchdown. But last year, he had a really better season. I remember everybody thought he was going to be trash when he first went to Tennessee. He still had over 1,000 yards last year, 7 touchdowns, caught 75 balls, 14 yards a catch. So I mean, that was just last year, man. And that was what again Will Levis and I can't remember who else was the quarterback before Will. I think maybe was it Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, look, D Hop, I still think he has a little bit left in the tank, but this is what the Chiefs needed. They needed a guy that can go win one-on-one situations, a guy that Mahomes can get the ball to with all the injuries they have. And hey, man, I'm not mad at it. I think even if Rasheed got hurt, they would still make this move. But yeah, man, look, I'm a little bit nervous about Kansas City. I think from a Denver perspective, I think we'll be fine. But in terms for the league, like I ain't gonna lie, Mahomes getting D Hop is a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, I like it for the Chiefs. I think just thinking about it as like a whole, this is the second, third best receiver Mahomes has played with, and especially in the last 2 years, this might be the best receiver that he's gotten to play with. And if you want to say Rasheed Rice, then go for it. But even a 32-year-old D Hop, I think, is still gonna be a positive for him. I think he's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
very, very positive for him personally. Especially, let's say they give up the fourth rounder, which they probably will if they make the Super Bowl. It's a what pick? The last pick of the fourth round, the second to last pick of the fourth round. It's like you basically giving up a fifth round pick for D Hop. Um, I like it. I like it, and yeah, I do. I would still kind of like to see him maybe go out and get, I don't know, maybe somebody else, but I just don't know if they got the cap space for it. But I know with on the McAfee show today, I was watching it, and granted, they have to say this, but the GM was like, yeah, we're still looking around, and we're still like it was like an anonymous GM that McAfee was talking about, that he was like, yeah, like they're still looking around and like they're still shopping and all that. Obviously, they have to say that, but
Yeah.
for this part, like just for D Hop in general, I like it, and I saw like some tweet, and I'm sure you saw the same thing. Back in like 2017, Kareem led the league in rushing yards, and D Hop led the league in I think passing yards, and I think Travis Kelsey led the league in like touch. It was something like that. It was like some stat like that, and now they're on the same team. Obviously, maybe a little bit past all of their primes, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think overall, I think it was a good move for KC. I think it gives them, like I said, what they need. I'm really interested to see how Andy's going to use them because D Hop, isn't the fastest guy anymore. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to use him for. I think they're going to use him kind of a lot in the short game a little bit, the occasional deep ball. But I think D-Hop, man, this is the best quarterback he's going to play with, the best offensive system he's probably going to be in. But yeah, man, I really like the move. Going on to the other news, speaking, and I'll stay on the Chiefs a little bit. Cooper Kupp, the Rams are reportedly shopping him. I know Diana Rossini said something about this. Was it yesterday? Yeah. The whole Cooper Kupp stuff came out yesterday. But apparently the Rams and the Chiefs discussed the Cooper Kupp trade, but the Chiefs couldn't do it. They didn't. Yeah, I think what it was is they couldn't afford to take on a large chunk of his salary, and they didn't want to give up a day two pick. My whole thing about the Cooper Kupp thing, honestly, I think you're taking a risk trading for him. I think Cooper Kupp when he's healthy is he's as like as good as he can get in the league. Top five, you want to say that, top 10 for sure, 100%. But thing about Cooper Kupp is the injuries. They're starting to pile up on him in the last 3 years. He's been in and out the lineup a lot. Um, and you got to factor in this money too. I mean, he's 31 as well, making 15 million this year. So the Rams are saying that they want that high pick. So which means they're probably gonna take most of the salary this year. I don't know what it's gonna be, but just moving forward, the next 2 years it's 12.5 million and then 14.8, and then he's a unrestricted free agent when he's 34 in 2027. But I just think I think a team like Baltimore, I think a team like Pittsburgh are probably the most ideal situations for him. I hear people saying Tampa, but I guess Temple wouldn't be a bad option, but one of those contending teams that is kind of all in on winning in the moment. I know a lot of people throwing out Denver. I don't really see this as a Denver move. I know a lot of people are throwing out these teams, and you got to remember a lot of these teams they're trying to build young, and getting a guy like Cooper Kupp is moving in the opposite direction. We all know what type of talent he is, but you're taking a gamble trading on a guy who's 31, dealing with the injury history he has been for the last 2-3 years. And yeah, you're kind of taking like it's a high risk, high reward type thing. So
No, I feel you on that. I'm also kind of iffy about like what do the Rams see in him that they would really want to move on from him? Like, and it was almost like out of nowhere as well. Obviously the injury, and obviously like kind of like you had said, that's like the biggest concern because when he's balling, he's balling. You know. I also kind of I'm not concerned, but like a little bit of like maybe he's also kind of a little bit of a product of the McVay system a little bit. And if he tries to go to a different system, he might not be as great.
I don't think that's it.
I mean, I don't think he's producing like he was with his Triple Crown if McVay wasn't the coach and Stafford wasn't throwing the ball to him. I don't think
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't put
think
up those stats.
Yeah, I think a lot of that went hand in hand with each other, but I still think Cooper Kupp is still one of the more complete receivers. Route tree, blocking wise, hands. I mean, he has it pretty much all. I just think the thing that's may stick out for him is just the cap hit, $29 million cap hit, 29 million next year, and then 27 his final year. So moving off from him is you're gonna take a hit. I mean, $30 million hit. So I mean, if you trade for him, you're just gonna have to stick with him for until 2020, the end of 2026. But I just feel like the only team that makes sense really is a team like Pittsburgh or a team like Baltimore who can afford to do that because just the predicament they in. Like I don't think a team on the up and come should be trying to trade for Cooper Kupp. Like I said, it's a high risk, high reward type thing. But I don't know, man. I feel like if he went to a team like Baltimore, he fit right in. He's a great blocker. Can come off his routes quick, can be a quick throw for Lamar Jackson. But and I think the same thing for Pittsburgh. I think he'll fit them. Like I said, same thing. Come out his route tree. I mean, coming out of his route still at a high level, and he's a good blocker. But it's just you just gotta have that risk where he can
Mm-hmm.
go down, and when he's down, he's out for a while. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let me look at it. Let me look at his stats real quick. And let me see kind of how he was. Again, I'm not saying he a bad receiver. I'm just saying in general. I just kind of think he is a little bit of a product of the McVay system, and I think you kind of saw the same thing
I
with
got you.
Puka. But like, I'm not saying he's like a trash receiver or nothing like that. But
Yeah, I mean his last 1,000 yard season was the Triple Crown season.
mm-hmm.
Since then he played 9 games after that year. He had 75 catches for 530, 6 touchdowns. 2023, he played 12 games. He had 59 catches, I'm sorry. Yeah, he had 59 catches, 737, 5 touchdowns. And then this year so far, he's had 18 catches, 147 and a touchdown. I mean, and I'm sorry, in 2022, he had 812 yards, 6 touchdowns. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man.
I guess maybe it's more like what I'm more looking at is just the counting stats, but like the actual like productivity and like the importance of him. Like I think that's maybe I'm
I
just
mean,
looking more at like, damn, he really went off when McVay was kind of the coach. Especially, I guess I'm more blinded by that triple crown of like he was just balling, and it was really just him on the team, and McVay
I
just kind
mean,
of like did his thing with him. But also even before that, he still had like 1,000, almost 1,000. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, he had damn near 2,000 yards since like in that 2021 season where he had the triple crown. I think it was just more of like he just hasn't been able to be on the field. Like he's played 23 games in the last 3 years. That's pretty bad. I mean, and that's including this year as well. And he's only played 2 this year. So I think the whole thing with Kupp is just him staying on the field. But I would love for a team like Baltimore to go get him. I think he can stay healthier because the type of offense that they run, he won't need to be doing as much as he was for the Rams. I mean, the Rams, he's their go-to guy. That's why, I mean, him and Puka, like they're gonna throw the ball 40 to 50 times a game, and Kupp and Puka are gonna get 15 targets each. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. But yeah, I mean, I think like I said, I think a team like y'all or Baltimore should really make that push to get him. I think Tampa will be a good fit as well, but the asking price is high. I don't know if Pittsburgh will do it, but I know for sure Baltimore will come off that second round pick to get him. I've been waiting for Lamar to get that one wide receiver, and I think this will be the perfect get. If they can get a guy like Cooper Kupp and put him on his offense, a guy that can beat almost any corner in the league in a one-on-one situation. I mean, that'll just do wonders for Lamar. But yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where he goes. It was also completely random. It was completely out of nowhere, and I
yeah,
was like, bro, like Cooper Kupp is up to be traded because I want the Steelers to go get DK. Obviously, I knew with the way the Seahawks are performing, that isn't gonna happen. I know in the offseason they were talking about like the rumblings of it. I just think it was again because Russ was the quarterback. But just looking at the AFC this offseason or this season, the Ravens went and got Derrick Henry. The Chiefs went and got DHop and Hollywood Brown. Obviously, he's on IR, but whatever. Bills went and got Amari. Texans went and got Stephon. Steelers went and got Van Jefferson. It's like, bro, we got to
you
get.
forgot about Devontae.
Oh, yeah, there you go. The Jets. I mean, I was just reading this tweet. I mean, and the Jets went and got Devontae. It's like, bro, like the Steelers got to get somebody. It's like, you got to go get a skill position. And obviously, that's just me being biased talking about it. It would be cool to see him with Lamar. But it's like to be able to compete with some of these top guys, these top teams in the AFC. It's like you have to have playmakers, and you like this is one of those playmakers.
Trust, I know.
You have to go get. You have to go get him something like that. And I'm in agreement with you of like, I don't think any like I can't see the Commanders going to getting him. I can't see like any of these up and coming teams going to get him. I think it's going to be one of those like teams where like you need a piece like Kupp to go and like I don't know. I really think that he would just fit in with the Steelers, but again, I'm biased and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, but moving on to some other news. Prayers for Andy Dalton. Got into that car accident earlier in the week, and think they said he injured his thumb. And he won't be able to go on Sunday. So Bryce Young's getting the start. I just wanted to talk about this for a little bit. Yeah, I think this is crazy. I think Bryce is starting against Denver, and however that's gonna go, I think Denver they're second in the league in sacks, and I think they're first in the league in pressures. So hey man, Bryce is in for a day. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's in Denver. This is the worst game for him to come back. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm a Bronco fan. I'm not gonna be biased, but this is the worst game for him to come back. But that's all I'm gonna say about it, Ryan. What's your thoughts on Bryce?
I hope he has success. That's all I gotta say. I hope he has success. Kind of like we've been saying. I just like let's say Andy Dalton doesn't get into a car accident, which obviously I'm with you again. I hope he recovers. I hope everything is going well with him and whoever else got in the car accident. But dude, I don't know. It's like just from like a confidence level, like in my opinion, they just gave up on him, and now for unseen circumstances. Now you got to go back to him. It's like, and against, in your words, the best defense in the NFL. It's like, bro, like, it's gonna be rough for him, and I hope he has success, but I just can't see him
Yeah.
having a great deal of success.
Yeah. Transitioning over to the NBA. One, basketball is back, so that's something to look forward to. I want to just talk about this a little bit briefly, but LeBron and Bronny, they got to play together, man. I think Bronny checked in the second quarter, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the second quarter, him and LeBron were able to get in. Um, I'm bringing this up because I just want to know your thoughts on Bronny a little bit. I'll talk about it real quick. I don't know, man. I don't know what the role is gonna be for him, but I think honestly he needs to be in the G League until, like, you know what I'm saying, until you get some development in. I know LeBron just wanted to kind of get that out the way, but I definitely think he needs to be sent to the G League.
I mean, I agree with you. I think some development for him in the G League would obviously be nice. I do think he's like a okay, solid defender,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I think it's annoying, and even if I wasn't a Lakers fan, I still think it's annoying seeing the hate of of him and people like. I understand, let's be for real. Like, he definitely got drafted by the Lakers because of LeBron, but
Hmm.
it's also like, bro, like, kid just had a heart attack. Was a He was balling in high school, and obviously high school is completely different than the NBA. But like, bro just had a heart attack, and now you have a bunch of people just hating on him just because LeBron is his father, and everyone hates LeBron. It's like, give him some time. I'm also in agreement with you. Send him to the G League, and I think
Yeah.
a big reason that it was just this game. It was opening day. It's a big moment for LeBron. It's a big moment for Bronny. It's a big moment for the James family, and yeah, I was very very happy to see LeBron have this moment with him, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird seeing all the hate of Bronny. It's also,
Yeah.
especially he was what, the 55th pick, 56th pick.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like, you don't see hate like that coming from any other 55th pick in NBA history, NFL history. I don't know. It's crazy, but
Yeah. Yeah. I just think he needs to go to the G League, develop a little bit more. But yeah, I feel like the hate is starting to get a little bit out of hand. But I think that's going on to the main topic from yesterday's debut. We got to talk about the Celtics, man. I mean, I had them repeating, um, but Lord Jesus, like, mind you, they were balling like this, and I thought Al Horford was going to retire, and he's obviously still there. But bro, we're talking about this star lineup. Tatum had 37 in 30 minutes. Derek White had 24. Brown had 23. Drew had 18. Horford had 11. Hauser had 10 off the bench. I mean, bro, they made 29 threes. They shot 61 and they made 29. Like, that's ridiculous. Um, Shot 50% from the field as well. I mean, this team is looking like once they get KP back, they are just gonna repeat. I don't think anyone can beat them. Especially Tatum is now. He looks. I know it's just one game, but I know he fixed his jump shot. But if he can get to like that pure status with it, where he's not back to that inefficient shooting like he has been in the past, no one's coming close to beating Boston.
man, I agree with you. I think I didn't watch a crazy amount of the game. I kind of started watching towards the end of the game, and I didn't really realize what they were actually doing until I looked back at like the actual stats. I'm like, oh, they almost just like tied or beat the 3-point record for a single game. But yeah, I mean, dude, they came out on fire, and usually you kind of see some of these teams that won the championship kind of slump over into the next season, kind of start a little bit slower. Also, I was kind of thinking, like, especially with Tatum, maybe the Olympics was going to have a little bit of effect. Granted, he didn't play much, but that's kind of something I'm looking for with all these guys that went to the Olympics. I was kind of looking at that with the Lakers as well, with LeBron and AD playing big minutes in the Olympics, not really having that full off season, and them both being a little bit older. But we obviously talked about that a little bit later. But again, shout out to Jason Tatum, almost had 40 points, and yeah, they were balling. I'm in agreement with you where. Uh, Dude, I can't really. Obviously, they're gonna lose, but like in a 7-game series, I just can't see with Porzingis back, like you said, nah, like it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough year. But yeah, I have him repeating as well, and yeah.
Yeah, going on to the last topic we're gonna talk about, and then we'll wrap things up. Mikal Bridges. Like, I'm all on board for people trying to put in work in the offseason, of course. That's what you're supposed to do, but there's a saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you don't change up your whole jump shot, man. Not at this point. Like, you're shooting a career 38%. If you want to fix something a little bit in it, but he changes his jump shot completely, and it's just, I think he was terrible. He was terrible in the preseason and then came out and shot 2 for 7 for 3. And it's like, bro, you're replacing Dante, who's at an automatic, like, Dante, I don't even know he's gonna go 2 for 7. Like, Dante's gonna knock down most of his threes. You're there to replace that. OG was terrible as well, but I gotta hear your thoughts on Mikal, man. I mean, the jump shot and it looks horrible. Like, it looks horrible.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't really watch a crazy amount of the game. Uh, dude, I don't know. I'm not gonna overreact just to like one game, but yeah, he definitely.
No, I'm
I
not talking about the one.
Oh no, I know, I know
Yeah.
you're talking about the jump shot in general, but like, I don't know, dude. From what I saw, people were clowning the hell out of him on Twitter. They were clowning the hell out of this man on Twitter, talking about.
Bro, it's just the shot is just like, bro, why? Who did this to you, bro? Like, who told you that this was a good idea? But I just had to talk about that, man. I just think it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. I mean, this dude is like, if look, anybody listening, everybody who listening, go look at his jump shot and tell me that shit don't look hilarious. But that's it, man. That's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you
Hold
guys for
on,
tuning in. Wait, go ahead.
1 second. I do have a little question for you. I just thought
Go
about this.
ahead.
Did you hear about the whole Embiid thing? About them
Oh, him not
investigating
playing back to
Embiid?
backs.
Yeah, they're like investigating it or whatever.
Oh, I didn't hear about them
Yeah,
investigating it.
let me look it up real
It
quick.
should be. I mean, a player blatantly saying, I'm just not going to play back to backs. I think that's a little bit crazy, but I'm not surprised. Like minds think alike. I think Paul George is going to do the same thing as well. This is why Philly, to me, just doesn't deserve to win a title. They just don't. I know that's just me, but you gotta want it in the league, man. Like, you don't hear anybody saying I'm not gonna play back to backs unless you are Kawhi Leonard, where you literally cannot afford to play a back to back because you are at risk of blowing your knee out any chance you have. Like, and I'm not saying Kawhi should do this, but I'm giving an example of a guy where it would somewhat make sense. Like, Embiid, man, come on. Like, you're not gonna play back to backs at all. And it's like, you just know Paul George is gonna do the same thing. Maybe not as much, but like, that man is not gonna play majority of the back to backs, especially if Embiid's not going. I just think if you want to win a title, you need that chemistry. You're not gonna play back to backs. That means you're already gonna miss what, 20 something games just because you don't want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Now,
That's
now, do you think he's doing the same thing that Kawhi doing? Just he doesn't want to risk any injury.
well, Embiid only gets hurt in the playoffs, so it's like
I,
it's not
I
like
I
you're out
remember
here.
I remember he got hurt that one game against the Nuggets like a year or two ago, where like he was supposed to play against the Nuggets, and then he ended up like ducking Jokic, and then everyone made like a huge deal out of that, and he didn't play for like because he like tore his meniscus or he had meniscus injury, or like it was something like that during the regular season, and people were like, "Bro, you're ducking him," and then he ended up being out for like.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I just don't. I just feel like if you're Embiid, yeah, he got hurt that one time, but I feel like majority of his injuries comes playoff time. I get it if you want to rest off some games, but just gonna blatantly come out and say I'm not playing back to backs, I think is crazy work. I just think that's already having a terrible outlook going into the season.
Yeah, I
Just,
mean,
just,
I just saw that they were investigating it. I didn't really like obviously I knew that he said he wasn't gonna play back to backs, but it's like, what are you gonna investigate? Like him not playing back to backs, and are you gonna make him play back to backs? Like I know sometimes like with like the whole podcast, I know that players talking about like sometimes the teams will hold the players out and will be like, no, you're not allowed to play, and it's like obviously we're not in the locker room and we're not being coached and we're not in the facilities and all that stuff. But like I'm kind of with you of like you automatically come out the jump talking about yeah I'm not playing back to backs again. It's like it's gonna be a rough like I don't know, dude. It's gonna be rough for him, and I think once they make the playoffs, obviously that's their main goal. They want to get Embiid to the playoffs healthy, but just coming out and saying that is crazy. He said if I had a guess, I would probably never play back to backs the rest of my career. The rest of your career, you're not even talking about this season. You're talking about the rest of your career. Like that's I don't know, but yeah, I just don't know what they're investigating. Like that he's not going to play back to backs. Okay, cool. He said it. He openly said he wasn't going to play. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that's gonna do it for this episode, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. But yeah, that's gonna do it. To the next one. Peace out.